The human was exhausted. Muscles aching, mind fogged, he barely managed to stumble into his quarters before collapsing onto the bed. Negotiations with the alien council had been hell. Too many rituals, too many rules, too many ways to accidentally offend someone and start a war. The last thing he remembered before blacking out was tossing his survival knife onto his chest. His tool, as the locals called it. Not that he cared about their strange customs. He just wanted 5 hours of uninterrupted, coma-level sleep. Unfortunately, that would prove impossible. Somewhere in the depths of his unconscious mind, something shifted. A sound, soft footsteps, the rustle of fabric, the faint scent of something exotic. He groaned, turning over, but the presence only grew closer. Warm breath ghosted over his skin. A hand, delicate, trembling, yet determined, touched his chest. His tired brain barely registered it before a soft, hushed voice whispered, "You have chosen me." He frowned. That wasn't right. He hadn't chosen anyone. A cool fingertip traced down his torso, stopping just above the waistband of his shorts. He definitely hadn't chosen anyone. His eyes snapped open. The alien woman hovered over him, her large, luminescent eyes filled with solemn determination. She was stunning, tall, toned, skin faintly glowing in the dim light, wearing only the sheer ceremonial robes of her people. He grunted, blinking in confusion. "What?" She exhaled, as if gathering courage. "You have displayed your tool to the gods. You have invited me to claim you. I accept." His brain short-circuited. His what now? Before he could even begin to process, she gently but firmly straddled him, placing both hands on his chest. The gesture was reverent, almost worshipful. It was also extremely concerning. Whoa, wait a second. He tried to sit up, but she pressed him down, mistaking his panic for ritualistic struggle. "It is natural to resist," she whispered, voice tinged with something dangerously close to anticipation. "But the gods have spoken, human. There is no undoing this now." Undoing what? His heart pounded as flashes of conversation from the past few days hit him all at once. "The ceremonial tool is a sacred sign of intent. To sleep with one's tool exposed is to declare readiness for union. A warrior may claim one who has made the offer, and the gods shall bless their joining." His blood ran cold. "Oh, no." His knife. The one sitting on his chest like an unintentional mating call. Panic surged through him. "Okay, look, I think there's been a huge mistake." She shushed him. She shushed him. "I understand," she murmured, mistaking his shock for fear of commitment. "It is a great honor, and I will bear it with dignity." He whimpered. Actually whimpered. She reached for the clasp of her robe. "Wait!" The door burst open. A group of aliens crowded in, cheering. Someone threw flower petals. There was chanting. The human lay there, paralyzed, the weight of a planetary-sized misunderstanding crushing him. A high-ranking elder stepped forward, beaming. "It is done! The human and Lady Vishara are bound." Bound? Bound? Vishara turned to the crowd, positively glowing. "It is true. I shall fulfill my duty." She looked back down at him, smiling. He was so screwed. The room smelled like flowers and ceremonial oils. The gathered aliens were still cheering, throwing petals, singing what sounded like a wedding hymn. The human lay there, frozen, too horrified to move. Vishara's hands were still on him. "Wait, hold on, nobody's bound to anything." He tried to sit up, but she pressed him down again, mistaking his resistance for ritual reluctance. "Shh," she murmured. "The moment is sacred." "No. No, it wasn't." "It's really not," he croaked. The elder beamed. "Ah, he is shy. Many warriors tremble on their first night." Do not worry, human. Bashara is experienced in the ways of bonding. His soul left his body. She leaned in, whispering in his ear. It is true. I have studied much in preparation for this moment. He squeezed his eyes shut. Oh God. Yes, she nodded. They witness us now. Not what he meant. The elder clapped his hands. Very well. We shall leave the couple to their joining. No, 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 he wasn't a couple. He wasn't joining anything. He flailed as Bashara's hands went to his waistband. Stop! She blinked, tilting her head. You wish to conduct a mating hunt first? A what? A chase. Some enjoy the thrill. No. He grabbed her wrists, gently but firmly pushing them away. No chase, no mating, no joining. This is a huge misunderstanding. She frowned. You did not mean to leave your tool out? No. The elder cleared his throat. But you did? Not like that. Bashara tilted her head. Then it was an accident. Yes. The room fell silent. The petals settled on the floor. The celebratory atmosphere vanished. The elder pursed his lips. That is unfortunate. Bashara looked down at him, expression shifting into something strange. Not anger. Not disappointment. Something worse. Deep, aching embarrassment. She inhaled sharply, her hand slowly retreating from his body. She sat up, her posture rigid. I see. Oh no. Oh no. She stood, smoothing out her robes. The room was dead quiet. The elder sighed. The gods will not like this. They will endure it, Bashara said stiffly. She stepped off the bed with stiff, ceremonial dignity, dignity that only barely masked her mortification. And somehow, that made him feel even worse. The crowd awkwardly shuffled out, whispering among themselves. Bashara followed last, pausing at the door. She didn't look at him. I will speak with the high priestess. You may prepare your apology. And then she was gone. Apology? For what? He fell back on the bed, staring at the ceiling, mind reeling. Somewhere outside, a morning horn sounded. Oh, for fuck's sake. The morning horn wouldn't stop. It echoed through the halls, long and tragic, like someone had just died. He sat up, running a hand down his face. This was bad. The door creaked open. A small alien, some kind of attendant, peeked in. The council requests your presence. He sighed. Let me guess. It's about the whole accidental engagement thing? The attendant hesitated, then nodded. Perfect. Just perfect. Minutes later, he stood in the grand hall, facing a panel of very serious, very judgmental aliens. Bashara was there too, standing rigidly with her arms crossed. She wouldn't look at him. The high priestess spoke first. Human, we are here to address the situation you have created. He braced himself. Look, I swear I didn't mean to leave my knife out as some kind of your tool, she corrected. He pinched the bridge of his nose. Fine. My tool? It was an accident. The council exchanged glances. Bashara cleared her throat, voice cool and measured. Honored elders, I understand this was a misunderstanding. However, the damage has been done. Damage? The high priestess sighed. Lady Bashara was seen entering your chamber. The ritual was declared. The people celebrated. To withdraw now would be deeply dishonorable. He groaned. Oh, come on. How is it dishonorable? Nothing even happened. The elder beside her shook his head. To them, it is as if she was discarded. A painful silence filled the hall. He glanced at Bashara. She still wouldn't look at him. Oh, he exhaled. Okay, what do I need to do to fix this? The high priestess leaned forward. A public gesture. One that proves Lady Bashara has not been shamed. Bashara stiffened. That is unnecessary. It is very necessary, the elder said. The priestess nodded. A grand display of affection. Something undeniable. He blinked. You mean like... Yes, she said firmly. A kiss. Bashara whipped her head toward the priestess. That is absurd. You would rather keep the shame? The elder asked. She scowled, clearly furious. He ran a hand through his hair. A kiss. Just a kiss. No weird marriage implications. No eternal binding. Just a public peck to make everything blow over. He looked at Bashara. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing, right? Her glare could have melted steel. The priestess smiled. Good. The festival begins at sunset. Wait. Festival? Before he could protest, the council stood, signaling the discussion was over. Bashara stormed out first. He sighed. I should probably go talk to her, huh? The attendant at his side nodded. Yes. Before she kills you. The festival was in full swing. Drums pounded, torches burned, and hundreds of aliens gathered to witness the event. And here he was, standing in the center of it all, next to a very tense Bashara. Are you sure we can't just, I don't know, shake hands and call it a day? He muttered. She didn't look at him. No. Right. Of course not. The high priestess raised her hands, addressing the crowd. The misunderstanding has been settled. The bond remains strong. Now let it be sealed. The aliens cheered. His stomach dropped. Bashara turned to him at last, her face blank. Let's get this over with. Not exactly the most romantic lead-in. She grabbed his shirt, yanked him forward, and pressed her lips to his. The crowd exploded in cheers. His brain short-circuited. She kissed him like she was trying to kill him with dignity. It was firm, forceful, and lasted just long enough to count. When she pulled away, her face was impassive. There. It is done. The high priestess beamed. A fine display of devotion. He could still feel the ghost of her lips on his. Yeah. Sure. Devotion. The festival carried on. Music, dancing, more drinking. The people were satisfied. He and Bashara, however, were left standing in awkward silence. So, he said, are we good now? She sighed, rubbing her temples. This has been the most humiliating day of my life. He winced. Hey, for what it's worth, I really didn't mean for this to happen. I know, she muttered. He hesitated, then gave her a small smile. But, you didn't have to kiss me that hard. Her eye twitched. I did what was necessary. Uh-huh. She crossed her arms. You should be grateful. Many would beg for the honor. Oh, yeah. You gonna line up my suitors now? She scoffed. As if anyone would want you after this disaster. That actually made him laugh. And, despite herself, she smiled just a little. Maybe this wasn't the worst thing in the world.